The MTR Corporation has always strived to deliver a safe, clean and enjoyable railway service with the aim of providing a pleasant journey to all passengers. Through the MTR Safety and Courtesy board game, the corporation hopes to help children nurture good passenger behavior from a young age and a better sense of safety and courtesy when traveling on the MTR. The components of the board game include a game board, a spin wheel, MTR train chess pieces, as well as sets of customer service center cards, chance station cards, mission cards, and item cards. Firstly, before the game begins, each player will choose an MTR train chess piece and draw one mission card. In order to win the game, players will be required to ride the MTR safely and courteously in order to complete the mission presented on the mission cards as quickly as possible. The player who arrives at the destination and completes the mission wins. To begin the game, players will place their chess pieces at the starting point and then show the contents of the mission cards to other players. At this point, all customer service center cards, chance station cards, mission cards, and item cards should have already been placed in their respective positions on the game board. Each mission card contains a specific mission route, which respective players will be required to follow throughout the game. This includes the player's starting station, the intermediate station, at which the player will be required to reach in order to obtain their item card, and their destination. The player who obtains their item card and arrives at the destination first wins. Players can obtain their item card once their chess piece lands on the designated intermediate station indicated on the mission card. Each player will be required to spin the wheel in clockwise direction during their turn. Depending on where the red indicator of the spin wheel stops, the player who spun the wheel will then carry out the action in accordance to the result of the spin. If the red indicator points to a number, the player will be required to move his or her chess piece by that number of positions. For example, if the red indicator points to +3, the player is required to move his or her chess piece forward by 3 positions. If the indicator points to the chance station image, the player will be required to draw one chance station card and then carry out the action indicated in the card. Such actions include advancing, taking a step back, spinning again, or skipping a turn. If the MTR Connect pass is drawn, the player can keep the card until he or she wants to nullify the effect of the next chance station card drawn. The MTR Connect pass has to be placed at the bottom of the chance station card pile after use. The customer service center image means the player who made the spin is required to draw one customer service center card. The player is not allowed to let other players know the content presented on the card, and will be required to lead other players into guessing the content of the card through verbal representations or by using body language within 1 minute. If the player says out the content during the process of leading others to guess, the player will not be allowed to advance his or her chess piece, and the turn will be passed to the next player. If one of the other players guessed the content of the card correctly within the time limit, he or she and the player of that turn can advance their chess pieces by 2 steps. If there are no correct guesses by the end of the time limit, the turn will be passed to the next player. For players aged 9 or below, if the customer service center image is spun, the player will draw a chance station card and read aloud the content of the card to other players. Within a 1-minute time limit, other players will then be required to identify whether the content of the card represents correct or wrong passenger behavior. The quickest player to answer correctly, and the player who drew the card, may advance by 2 steps. Throughout the game, if a chess piece is already present at a particular station, other players are required to wait at previous stations before being allowed to enter the station. From their starting stations to obtaining their item cards at their intermediate stations, and finally arriving at the destinations to complete their missions as quickly as possible, players can compete to win the race by riding the MTR safely and with courtesy in mind. The MTR Safety and Courtesy board game also supports the use of interactive Ting Pens. Simply point and tap the Ting Pen tip on the game board, customer service center cards, chance station cards, and mission cards, and the game will be brought alive with interactive sound effects.
堅尼地城 Kennedy Town 堅尼地城
allowing children to nurture good passenger behavior through fun and relaxing learning.